Alright, so we're going to do a homework video over the homework for tonight since there's still a bunch of confusion going on. We've already done number 5 with most of you guys, and so we need to move on looking at starting with number 4. So Lily is wrapping paper to cover a box with the dimensions, remaining dimensions mean measurement, of 7 centimeters by 10 centimeters by 5 centimeters. Now, and it says, what is the least amount of paper Lily will need to cover the box? And remember, cover means we're talking about surface area. So the thing with this is we're assuming the box is a rectangular prism. So I'm going to draw a rectangle here. Okay? And what I like to do is I like to highlight the bases so that I can see where my bases are at. There's one base, there's 2 bases. That's part of the problem, is y'all are not going through all of the steps. And we talked about how the height connects the 2 bases. So now that I can see the bases, I see that these lines right here connect, and those are my heights. Okay? And so now I can start labeling it with my dimensions. And I just, because it's a rectangular prism, it doesn't matter which side lengths go where because it's all just getting multiplied together. So the way I did mine was I did mine as I just went in the order 7 by 10 by 5. Now, if you labeled yours differently, that's okay. It's all going to come out to be the same surface area in the end. So I'm looking for surface area equals 2 times the area of the base plus the perimeter times the height. And I need a base, a perimeter, and a height. Go ahead and label your height. Well, my height connects my bases, so my height is 7. Like we talked about in class, once you use that height, you're not going to use it again, and so I'm going to get rid of it so that I don't have to worry about that number anymore. Then I'm going to move to the perimeter. Remember, perimeter is walking the outside of the shape. So I'm walking the floor of this shape. And so I'm going to go 10 plus 5 is 15. Then I'm going to go 10 again, 5 again. So 15 plus 15, which gives me a perimeter of 30. And then this is the area of my base. So I have to stop and think, what's the shape of my base? My base is a rectangle. So then what's the formula for the area of a rectangle? Well, rectangle is length times width, or base times height. When we say base times height, we're not talking about the height of the prism anymore. We're talking about the height of the rectangle, or the length of the rectangle. So this is going to be 10 times 5, which gives me 50. So then I should be able to plug that into my surface area formula of 2 times my B was 50, plus my P times my height. And I should be able to put that into my calculator and solve for my surface area. And then my lateral surface area is going to be what I find right here, lateral surface area. So I would multiply 30 times 7, and that would give me my lateral surface area. Okay, we've already done number 5 together. Most of us got to number 6 as a class, but in case we didn't, you know, we have our bases. They tell us in here that the base is a hexagon. And so down here is my base. Okay, there's a base. And there's a base. This connects my 2 bases, which makes it my height. So once I record my height, I can get rid of the height, and I'm not going to use it again. Then I have my perimeter. My perimeter is if I'm walking the floor, the edge of the floor. So I'm going 6, 6, 6. So I'm doing 6 times. I'm walking around 6 times, which gives me 36. And they tell me what my B is. My B is 93.6. So then I should be able to plug all these things into my recipe here and get my total surface area and my lateral surface area. And then once again, most of us got to number 7 together. We have the bases are these triangles right here. Okay? Those are your triangles. And what's connecting the two triangles is my height. So my height is 17. So once I have my 17, I'm going to mark it out because I'm not going to use it again. Okay, and then I can move into the perimeter as if I'm walking the edge of the triangle. So I'm going to go walk 10 centimeters plus 12 centimeters plus this piece. If I look at this piece, it's connected to this line, and this line is 10. So I'm walking 10, 10, and 12, which gives me 32. When I move into the base, the area of the base, I have a triangle as my base, so I need to use the triangle formula, which is 1/2 base times height. Now this is the base and height of a triangle, and if we go back to our notes originally, we talked about how we can find the base and the height of the triangle. I'm going to see if I can flip this around real quick so that you can see on our word wall here where we talk about the base and the height of our triangles. So when we're talking about the height of a triangle, we look for either the corner or the dotted line. Now in our example, we have a dotted line. So if we follow the dotted line is going to represent the height of our triangle. And the height is connected to our base. So if you look right here where it says base of triangle, it's connected to our base. So in the example that we have, let me turn it back around here. Ooh, it's like a little carnival ride. Okay. The dotted line is attached here is 8. So the height of my triangle is 8 and the base of my triangle is 12. So when I do the math here, I get 48. So I'm going to plug that into my surface area formula. Surface area equals 2 times the area of the base, which is 48, plus the perimeter, which was 32, times the height. And that should give me my total surface area once I put it in the calculator. Now, my lateral surface area comes from here. Okay, that's my lateral surface area, so I'll need to do the math on that. Number 8. So, I'm going to let the floor represent my base here. Because when we have rectangles, it doesn't really matter which one is the base. It only matters, triangles are the biggest ones where it matters. So there's the base. If I wanted to walk the perimeter and highlight the perimeter, I could. Okay. And if that's one base, the other base, I wish it wasn't so dark so you could see it, is up here. And we know that our bases are connected with our height. So if I'm finding the surface area of these things, I need my surface area formula, which I expect to see, 2B+pH. My list of ingredients, okay? And I start at the height. My height connects my bases, which is 7.5. Once I use it, I'm not using it again. It's gone. So now I'm going to walk the perimeter of my base. I'm going to go 22 centimeters. I'm going to go 5.5 centimeters. I'm going to walk this back 22 and walk forward 5.5 centimeters. And when I add all that up, that's going to give me my perimeter. And now I have the area of my base. Well, I need to stop. What is the shape of my base? My base is a rectangle. What's the formula for a rectangle? Length times width. Well, what's the length and the width? The length is 22. The width is 5.5. I'm going to do the math and figure out what's the area of my base. Then I'm going to plug those numbers into my formula. Moving on to number 9. Okay? Surface area equals 2B plus pH. This is my base right here. Okay, and I know it's my base mainly because you see this inches squared. That's telling me that's the area of the base. So this is my base. Okay. Well, that means the base is on the other side back here that I can't see. And what is connecting them is this line right here, which means that 14 is my height. So once I use that 14, I'm done with that. I can go ahead and plug in my area of my base because I know it's this. And so now I need to walk the perimeter of my base. But you're probably thinking to yourself, they don't tell us a length for this. You're right, they don't tell us a length for this, but they give us these little tick marks. And basically these little tick marks tell us that they're all the same length. So if this tick mark is across from here, it's 14 inches, which means all of the sides that have a tick mark are 14 inches, which means each piece of this hexagon is 14 inches long. So I have a side length of 14, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times. So I could do the math, plug it in, and then I'll have the perimeter of my shape. From there, I should be able to plug my numbers into the surface area formula. And if you're still with me, we've got one more and we're almost done. So we've got a cube. Okay, now the thing about a cube is all the sides are the same. So if I have a surface area of 2B plus pH, I need a base, a perimeter, and a height. Well, because they're all the same side length, this is my height as well. My perimeter, I'm going to walk the sides. So I'm going to go 6.5, 6.5, 6.5, 6.5, which is going to be 6.5, 4 times, and that's going to give me my perimeter. And then the area of my base, I have a square, which means I'm going to do length times width, which means I'm going to do 6.5 times 6.5, and that's going to give me the area of my base. So once I find those 3 numbers, once again, I can plug it into the formula and find my surface area. And once again, my P and my H, what I get as my P and my H becomes my lateral surface area. So that should help you get through your homework tonight. It also should help you on your stations tomorrow and your activities tomorrow, since I'm not going to be here. Okay? And that's it.